What are we if we are not our bodies? Hey guys, it's Ross, and this is a meditation session I did the other day, sitting by the Charles River in Massachusetts. This is early spring, so it was kind of warm, but there were some periods where it got a little chilly, a little windy. But overall, this was really, really peaceful. Sitting by this river was just super relaxing. I almost fell asleep a couple times. Just the sound of the water gently going by me. It was so tranquil, and just super relaxing. This is a strong determination meditation that I'm doing here. I'm not moving a single muscle in my entire body, just blinking and swallowing. This is actually only about 25-minute session right here. I've actually done 4-hour sits before, and those are really crazy. 4 hours of sitting completely still without moving. It's a real test of strength and determination. But anyway, as I was sitting here contemplating reality, I was just, observing everything going on around me, nature, life just happening with no real mechanics visible to it. How is reality happening? How is this dream that I'm experiencing happening around me? It's the greatest mystery. What is life? How is it working? And really, what are we? What are we as human beings, right? We think we are our bodies. I've been conditioned to think that I am Ross, that I am this man, 6 feet tall, blue eyes, beard. I've been conditioned to think that's who I am. That's all I am. I'm just this body, but really that's just my meat suit. What I am is really this consciousness behind this body. And it's taken me a long time and a lot of introspection to kind of start to realize that. I started meditating back in 2014, and I haven't been consistent over the last 12 years. I've kind of gone through periods where I didn't do it as much, and then there were some periods where I would obsessively do it every single day. But I've never really stopped wondering, what am I? What is life? Because ultimately, I want to be happy. I want to be the happiest, best version of myself possible. And I think the only real way to achieve that is through meditation. It's through really becoming aware of who you are, what you are, why you are the way you are. Looking at that, looking at yourself in the mirror and constantly refining yourself. And meditation, sitting still, just, letting your mind think or not think, I think is the fastest way to kind of get inside yourself and to discover who you are. So that's what I've been doing for the last 12 years. Again, not consistently, but I've been on this quest to just kind of discover, what life is. And I've been studying a lot of different teachers, and they've all kind of told me different things. Some resonated, some didn't at the time, and then later down the road, what they said did kind of make sense and resonate with me. Lately, I've been doing this practice. I actually heard from this guy on YouTube. His name's Zucker Abudi. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he does this really kind of weird practice where every time you have a thought, you ask yourself, who is observing this thought right now? Who is aware of this thought? And he said that he did that for months, just every day, as many times as he could. Just every time a thought would come up, wow, there's a thought. Like, who is seeing that thought? Because we think that we are. You can see I'm like starting to doze off. I'm so relaxed here. I'm like almost falling asleep. We assume that we are these bodies. Like, we assume that we are the thinker and that we are like inside the brain. Like, we're this identity inside the brain that is thinking that is, controlling these thoughts. And the more I do this practice of observing my thoughts and asking, who is thinking this thought, the more I realize that I have no control over my thoughts. Even if I was to sit here right now and say, all right, I'm going to think about a camel right now. I'm going to think about a camel. Well, why did that thought of a camel just come into my mind right now? I could have literally thought of any animal on the planet. I could have thought about any bug, any car, any, blades of grass, whatever. Like, there's literally trillions of things I could have just been thinking about. Why did the thought of a camel just come into my mind? Was that me consciously thinking, deciding I want to think of a camel? Or did that thought just pop into my head, but I have this illusion that I have free will to think about a camel right now? It's kind of trippy, and the more you really think about this, the more you start to realize, wait a second, what are thoughts? Do I have control over them? Am I the one thinking these thoughts, or are they just happening and I am just observing them? And I'm just kind of at that place right now where, I'm really starting to become aware of that more and more, just how kind of random thoughts are. It's really interesting. Thoughts are almost just like any other stimuli in our environment. The sound of the river behind me is a sound, right? And I might think, oh, that sound isn't me. I'm separate from that sound. I'm just hearing that sound. It's almost like the sound waves are hitting me, and Ross is absorbing those sound waves and translating them into data. Or, oh, the sun on my skin, that's not me. I'm experiencing the sun on my skin right now. I, Ross, am feeling the sun on my skin, but the sun on my skin, that warmth feeling, that's not me. We think that with every single stimuli in our environment, sights, sounds, smells, everything, except thought. We think that thoughts are us. We think that we are the ones thinking thoughts. We are the ones that are creating thoughts. We are the ones that are thoughts. But thoughts are just another stimuli in our environment, just like the sound of the river behind me, just like the warmth of the sun on my skin. That's all just stimuli. Thoughts are in that bundle. They are just a sensation. They are just like the sound of the river. They are just like the feeling of the wind blowing on my skin. These are all just sensations that we are experiencing, and thoughts are no different. Now, thoughts are a lot more complicated, and it's easy to kind of get lost in thoughts because they feel so real. We identify with thoughts so much, but thoughts are just sounds in our head. They're like these ghostly sounds, and they're so loud sometimes, and they speak our language. So we think, oh, okay, so these thoughts are real. They're true. Every thought that comes into my head is true. But if you look at thoughts as just like the sound of the river, it becomes like this weird kind of realization that, wait a second, thoughts are just another sensation. So that means that my identity is just another sensation. My mind, my entire ego, my personality, all these things, they're just a sensation. They're just a stimuli. It's like an illusion. That is what enlightenment is. When you start to break through the illusion, you start to break through the veil of this belief that we've had ever since we were born. We come into this world as babies, just totally just blank. We're just pure consciousness. We don't know what we are. Our brains haven't even developed to the point where we can understand anything that's going on. Everything is brand new. We've never seen a human before. We've never seen lights before. We've never felt the warmth of a cloth on our skin. We don't know anything. We just are pure consciousness, just pure awareness, no identity. We don't know what we look like. We don't know what we are, just this blank kind of ball of just energy and isness. And then over time, people start pointing at us and saying, you are Ross, that's your name, and you are this body, and you are this person, and you are smart, and you are funny, or you are lazy, or you'll never amount to anything in life. And just through being in the society surrounded by people, we are just kind of hammered with this constant programming, constant conditioning. And that's just part of being human. It's just part of this reality we live in. It's part of the society we live in. Humans are social beings, and we form these identities. And over time, we forget that we are just these balls of consciousness like we were when we were babies. And we start to feel separate. We start to feel like, oh, I'm Ross, I'm over here, and everything else around me is not me. And that is where our ego develops. And we cling to our egos and we say, we believe I'm either funny or I'm smart or I'm not smart or whatever. We have all these beliefs about ourselves and we kind of carry those through our lives, and we think I'm over here and all these trees and all this water and all this sunlight, that's all outside of me. It's all outside of my body, and I'm just experiencing it through my ears, through my mouth, through my nose, whatever. But as you get more enlightened, as you start to do more work on yourself, more meditation, more introspection, you start to realize that there really is no separation. There's no separation between your body and the outside world around you. It's all just being experienced by something. That something is you. You are this point of consciousness that is experiencing everything around you. And the mechanics of it are very complicated, and I think they're complicated for a reason, because our creator, whatever you want to call it, God, universe, source, it wanted to create this illusion of separation, right? It wanted to experience all the intricacies, all the complexities, all the beauty of life, but it had to first split itself into parts. Because how can you experience something if you are it? How can a face see its own face without a mirror to look at? A face can't see its face unless it has a mirror to look at or a still pond. So God, source, had to split itself into the face and the mirror so it could see what it looks like. And so that's why we all have these bodies, these vessels, these meat suits. Every animal, raccoons, foxes, birds, everything has a vessel. It has a meat suit. But if you put everything into perspective and you really start to question that whole concept, you start to realize that there is really no separation at all. Everything is just this point, this field of consciousness, this field of awareness. Everyone you look at is part of your dream that you are in. So if you look at your life as like a dream, like when you go to bed at night and you have a dream, life is no different. They're the same mechanics. It's all just this virtual reality. And everyone you see, everything you see, every sensation, every sound, smell, thought, it's all just being experienced by something, and that something is you. So we all wear these costumes, we all wear these masks. We all have this ego that we walk around with, and we think, I am here, I am me, and you are all separate from me. But that's not true. That's part of the truth, but really it goes so much deeper than that. It's so much more complex than that, so much more beautiful than that. And sitting here in this chair, being still, letting my mind wander, and every now and then bringing it back, I realized just how truly beautiful life is. Because I would look at all the bugs flying around, I would look at birds flying by, and it was just so intelligent. Life is just so incredibly intelligent. Every bug, every blade of grass, every leaf around me is so complex, so incredibly complex. All these different systems, all these different mechanics, so many things. Just for a bug to fly by my face, there's so much intelligence in that bug for it to be able to flap its wings, to know where it's going, to be able to know it needs to eat food and reproduce in order to continue its species. What created that bug? What is this infinite divine intelligence that is giving that spark of energy to that bug? It's so easy to overlook, but when you sit still and notice it, it's just so beautiful and so peaceful. So I was sitting here and I was just taking in the moment. And again, I was almost dozing off a couple times. You can see my eyes, like I'm just super zoned out, man. I'm super relaxed. But like there were moments where I would kind of like wake up a little bit and it was just like, oh man, this is so peaceful. It felt like I was getting a massage. And the more I do this work, the more I question, who is observing this thought? It's like that's where the beauty of life begins. That's where the joy in life begins. That's where you find true happiness. Happiness doesn't come from getting that new car. Happiness doesn't come from texting on your phone or doom scrolling or wasting time watching garbage TV. I mean, that's all just distraction. That's all just stimulation. Sure, it feels good to get a nice car. It's exciting for a couple days, and then it's like, you're looking for your next high. But true happiness, true happiness, true peace, it really comes from just being in the now, being in the present moment. And you can get there through meditation. You can get to points where your mind is just so still and life is just so peaceful and so enjoyable and just really chill. I mean, it's just a chill, obviously, life is complicated. It's not like life is just going to be chill all the time. Like, obviously, yeah, we're in this reality with all these different people with all their different personalities, and there's trauma, there's tragedy, there's things, things don't go your way. But, when you get your mind right and you get to the point where, you're in a good place mentally, your mind is still, you have emotional control, like life is a lot easier. Like I couldn't sit here if I was like a drug addict or something. I'd be like losing my mind because it's like, oh my God, this is so hard. I need a drug. Like, and when you think about it, people that are always on their phones, like they're kind of like addicts. Because I mean, if you can't sit still for 20 minutes without reaching for your phone or trying to turn on the TV or getting a bite to eat or something, like you're an addict. I mean, come on, like you can't sit still for 20 minutes and not do anything. It's a hard truth, but really try it. Go out today and just see if you can sit still for 20 minutes without moving a single muscle. And if you can't, you might have to realize like, I gotta check my priorities, because how can you go through life and expect to be happy if you can't even do that? If you're just constantly needing, I need to check my phone, I need to check the TV, I need to get a drink, I need to go, it bothers me when I drove by a parking lot today and there were people standing outside. There was like 4 people standing outside of a store. I guess they were waiting for it to open or whatever. Every single one of them, all 4 of them were just standing, staring at their phone. Like, how, come on guys, like you really can't spend 3-5 minutes just standing there, like enjoying the moment. Like you have to be distracted. You have to be stimulated by your phone. I mean, come on. It's just a total addiction. Life is incredibly beautiful when you realize that it's beautiful. Until I get it, man. I really understand why people are addicted to their phones. It's because they don't see the beauty of life. They've never experienced peace before. They've never experienced just enjoying the moment. And meditation, yeah, it's hard at first, man, because your mind is so out of control. You got monkey mind. It's so hard to keep it in check. Your mind is just racing and worrying and regretting the past. But if you give it time to, if you practice and you give it time to just calm down, like training a monkey. At first it's gonna lose its mind. It doesn't want to calm down. It's a crazy monkey, your mind is. But the more you meditate, the calmer you get it. it starts to chill out, it starts to mellow out, and it's like life just becomes easier. Then it becomes more enjoyable. You can sit down, at a coffee shop waiting for your coffee and not have to be on your phone. You can spend that 10 minutes just kind of sitting there and be like, yeah, this is chill. Like, I'm just relaxed right now. Like, things are good, like I'm happy. I'm not like, I don't need to check my phone right now. Like, these 10 minutes, I can just be chill, Um, so yeah, I think everyone should definitely give meditation a try, man. Like, it'll definitely like make you a lot calmer. Like, and you can really start to see the beauty of life. Like, there are moments where I meditate and I just like, it's just amazing. I'm like, oh my God, life is just so incredible. Some of the most beautiful moments of my life were when I was doing meditation. And there's many different ways to meditate. You can meditate while you're dancing. You can meditate while you're walking. You can meditate sitting down, lying down. There's so many different methods. I'd say just find one that works for you. But yeah, I'm, gonna make more videos like this where I just sit and meditate and do different stuff, and just I'm gonna keep going deeper and deeper, man. Like, life is just this really crazy, interesting mystery, and it's I feel like the deeper you get down the rabbit hole of life, the more you start to realize the mechanics of it. Like, just the better it gets, the easier it gets, the more enjoyable it gets. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep going deeper and deeper. And I actually had a dream the other night, where I just saw just how infinite life is. Like, in my dream, I became just pure awareness. I became pure consciousness. I wasn't Ross anymore. Like, I was just this infinite ocean of just pure awareness, and it was just incredible. And you get more and more glimpses like that the more meditation you do. So I definitely recommend starting to practice, just trying it out. You never know, you might fall in love with it, and I've done a bunch of different types of meditation. There's focusing on your breath, there's observing thoughts as they pass by, there's trying not to think at all, there's just sitting still and letting your mind completely wander forever. And just, that's what I did with the 4-hour meditation that I did. I literally I did not move, and I just let my mind wander wherever it went. And it was just purging thought. It was just like thinking, and then it just started to slow down, because it was like, all right, I don't have any more stuff to think about, and it just got really calm. And it was just such a crazy experience. I'll make other videos talking about that, because that was one of the craziest things I've ever done. One of the most challenging things I've ever done. It was physically painful, it was mentally challenging. So yeah, but yeah, again, guys, my name is Ross. I post a lot of videos talking about meditation, enlightenment, spirituality, the law of attraction. I'm just a super inquisitive guy, super open-minded, super deep. I just love asking questions about how to be the best version of myself possible, because that's ultimately what I want more than anything. I just want to be the best Ross that I can be, even though I know that I'm not Ross. I am this consciousness behind Ross, looking through this costume, this mask that I'm wearing. It's all very interesting stuff. So yeah, but yeah, it's just a beautiful day here sitting by the river. And yeah, I just love being out in nature, man. It's so refreshing. We get so caught up in society can be just super draining sometimes, dealing with people, dealing with deadlines and traffic and all this stuff. It can be toxic. So to get out in nature and just kind of clear your head and get grounded, it's just so good for the soul. It's like just a great recharge. And again, you don't need to go out in the woods to meditate. You can do it wherever you are. If you want to go sit by the side of the road and meditate, man, go ahead. It's not the most relaxing thing, but you can do it wherever you are. If you're waiting for coffee, or you're taking a walk, or you're lying in bed about to fall asleep, just look at your thoughts and ask, who is observing this thought right now that I'm thinking? And you'll start to realize the more you do it. At first, it's going to be really awkward, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. Just like anything, and then after a while, you'll start to realize, like, yeah, what the heck is going on, man? Like, I thought I was, this thinker. I am these thoughts, but you start to kind of detach from them and realize, wait a second, what are thoughts? What am I? Because Ross is a thought. My entire personality, my entire identity is just a bundle of thoughts. It's just a bundle of programming that was given to me by societal programming. And when you start to dissect it and look at it and bring awareness to it, it starts to dissolve. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like and subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one. All right, guys, bye.